It's not like you buy one copy of the Tal Shiar pack and it fixes your entire Romulan fleet.
No, but it's getting
It,
close.
it's getting
I,
close.
I will say that pack has done more to help the Romulan pack than I think any pack did to help its faction, short of the Ferengi pack.
The Vulcan pack. I think the Vulcan pack saved the Vulcans.
I suppose. I guess I've just always seen the Vulcan as a subset of Federation.
Oh well, I'm saying if you cut out, if you
If
cut
you
out
want
the
to make the
Federation,
Vulcans their own
the
thing,
Vulcans
yeah, sure.
sucked, and
Yes.
now you buy one Vulcan pack and you can play it competitively. Um,
Okay. Yes.
yeah, like I mean, the flipping how many scan tokens do you want to run on your Temet? Do you want
17,
one? Do you
17.
want six? I think I saw a guy running like 9 scan tokens on on
Yeah.
one of his Vulcan ships. And it's like, okay, at that point, you're just doing this for fun,
Uh huh. Uh
which
huh.
is kind of why the game exists.
Oh, okay. I guess that's the other way. How do you beat the Romulans? Scan tokens.
I, I don't see that strategy very often, but fair enough. You run Vulcans.
Well,
You run
it's the same
you
theory
run
as
scan tokens.
Nankless, right? Make it
Yeah,
so they don't get their defense dice,
it
or
makes sense that
most of them.
the Vulcans would be the ones who bring the strategy for
I mean,
killing Romulans.
granted, rule of three still applies. You can only knock down 3 of their defense dice. But if they're
Another
adding
one.
defense dice from a means other than cloak, because cloak is a replacement value,
Oh,
then
you want to know what?
then
Sorry.
you can counter more.
To the audience who don't know why I'm interrupting all the time, ADHD. I do my best.
No, no, it's good. It works.
There's also the 2017 starter set was themed around cloak and anti-cloak builds, and it's not Calvin Hudson. It's what's his name? He's the guy who is so critical of data
Oh,
on the just basically my point is run cards that are specifically designed to hunt cloaked vessels. There
uh
are
huh.
cards like that. There's Federation Crew, which makes it so enemy ships roll -2 if they're cloaked. I think there's one or two um, Federation ships that specifically do more damage or reduce the amount of defense dice when you're attacking cloaked ships.
Yeah, Christopher Hobson.
Christopher Hobson. Yeah.
Like, I know how to find that. Yes. So again, if you know you're going up against cloak, whether that's a thematic play or a meta that's just very cloak heavy, bring Hobson, and he's a 2 point
Mm.
crew, and he
The other
just
way,
works. He's a win attacking.
yeah, I think another one you would want to focus on is cards which do extra stuff when you hit a critical. Because since Romulans primarily use their hull, they don't use their shields too much because
Okay.
they're cloaking. If you have like those attack pattern Omega or things like Orion Tactical Officer, cards which, when you apply a critical hit to an enemy ship, allow you to search the deck for a special card. Those, I think, would be better against Romulans than most other factions. I haven't necessarily tried that strategy, but I think I'd like to see someone attempt it.
I could buy that. While I don't think it's like the best OP, I'm gonna win everything strategy. Uh, I think it could be a fun way to go about killing some Romulans.
And of course, you can always hit them with cloaked mines.
Yeah, that too. Well,
Oh,
certainly you're gonna make it so
fighters.
Romulans don't want to cloak. Yeah, fighters will work too. Um, I'll
Not
even
many, not many Romulans actually have scans. They tend to be missing scans.
yes.
So that's the thing. Cloaked mines do more damage if you can't scan.
Yeah, one of the new cards in the faction pack gives Romulans scan on their action bar. But you got to bring
Oh,
that as an upgrade, and that's a choice. And, we didn't say that was a great thing to do. It's an okay thing to do, but it's not a great thing to do. All right.
slowing this up.
Any other ways? Not that we need to pile on ways to beat Romulans when they're not the strongest faction. At least not before this. But any other ways you have to beat up the Romulans?
Hmm. Steal their cards.
Ooh. I mean, that's always
If you
good
got a way to
advice.
steal their tech, make them waste their one-use interface generators.
Mm,
So that means like have like essentially a very scary looking attack that you are willing to throw away. Something like a photonic cannon, maybe you fire that off at one Romulan ship, it immediately throws away its interface generator, and now you're just open to attack.
yeah.
Um, if you can steal their tech or disable their tech, you got your Borg cards, you got some of your like nasty mirror universe like Jennifer or whatever. You throw those things out. If you can kill their tech that their whole ships rely on, their ships become more vulnerable.
Uh huh.
Oh, also give them auxiliary power tokens.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you like Ferengi torpedoes, just do anything to give auxiliary power tokens to Romulan ships, and it really hurts them because then they can't cloak. That's basically it. Make sure they can't cloak.
I'm trying to think if there's maybe a good ambassador to use if you know you're up against Romulans. And Soval, but actually, Ambassador Soval is an interesting one. Um, where if you accept negotiations for the rest of the game, if the ship moves within range one of the target ship, or the target ship moves within range one of this ship, place an Ox power token beside the ship that moved. If you deny it, you make an attack against the target ship with 3 attack dice. It can't be modified or re-rolled. So the Romulan, if you target a Romulan ship with that, they have to be very cautious because you could knock out their shields right away, and then that ship could never cloak.
I don't know if this would be that useful against the Donatra Scout, which you're going to see frequently, but yeah, if you could stock maybe a Daredex with this, definitely you could use him against a D7
Yeah.
because you could if he takes that attack, he loses his shields, can't cloak. If he doesn't take the attack, then you can just stock him, and he isn't going to have the firepower necessarily to destroy your ship.
Right.
Um,
It's
when
a
he gets
weird
near you.
choice. I don't know that it's an amazing thing, but it's at least I'm trying to think a little outside the box here.
Yeah. So
So,
I think that covers how to fight them,
uh-huh.
which brings us to
What do you need to
Buyer's
buy?
Guide. Initially, I thought this would be like super easy, and it was, I'll say, easy to come up with my list, but my list was bigger than I thought it would be.
Okay. Well, I think we can start with the easy one.
Uh,
Buy the new faction pack.
yeah, Tal Shiar faction pack.
Maybe buy
You'll get
2 of
all
them.
sorts of. Yeah, if I had more money, I would have bought 2, but I don't have more money. However, I did pre-order, so it's gonna come here eventually.
Yes,
All those
I'm in the same
beautiful little
boat.
ships. Yeah, like it's like that's one of the reasons why it's like buy the stuff when you have the money.
Yeah.
So when you don't have the money, it arrives in the mail, and it's like you did have the money,
Hmm.
which is kind of just a way of saying like don't save, which is terrible advice. But um,
Save your money, folks.
never mind. Save your money. I need an orange to throw at someone. Uh, someone here will get that joke. Okay. But yeah, so the Tal Shiar pack. What does the Tal Shiar pack do in a nutshell? In one to 3 sentences, what does it do? Why should we buy it?
Um, it gives the Romulans amazing things that they've needed for a very long time. It gives them bank echoes. It gives a lot of very useful cards that let you play Romulans in ways that you wanted to before that you couldn't until now.
Yes, and speaking of bank echoes, I have been asking for years for a Lieutenant Laurier ability to be
Mm-hmm.
added to this game. He was a card from the X-Wing game, which was really useful. And essentially, it was a TIE interceptor where if you did a barrel roll, which was that game's version of Sensor Echo, but it was only with a speed token. You could use a 1 bank. And he was, I think, supposedly very useful to that game, like early on. And it's like, to me, it was wild that Star Trek Attack Wing never used a bank as a Sensor Echo.
Yeah.
And it got to the point, like, whenever I created like a like Spore Drive custom card, I always was like, yeah, you may perform a one, like, discard this card to perform a 4 bank Sensor Echo or a 3 turn Sensor Echo, because that would be like really reminiscent of, like, Discovery, like, appearing beside the enemy ship from that one scene in season 1 where it just essentially teleports around an enemy ship to hit it from all sides. And like the fact that they just never put a bank ability in until now, 2022, or I guess technically 2021, but they didn't release it until 2022. But yeah, they've added it now, and it's like that is going to just, I think that it's going to be the game changer to the meta. This card specifically is going to be such a game changer. But yeah, it lets you do those banks now. Their improved cloaking, great. Sensor Echoes, great. You've got the new Denatra. You've got so many nice cards in here. So this is definitely, and the other thing, part of the buyer's guide, part of this, it's available, or it will be soon. Like, I think most of the pre-orders have been bought up, but like shops are going to be stocking this pack for a while.
Yeah.
So you can buy it. My other one thing I would suggest buying is the old Romulan faction pack, at the very least for Mirok Science Vessel and additional weapons array. But the thing is it's nearly impossible to find the old Romulan pack, so you don't need to buy it. But like, if you want to, it's got some good cards in there, and you'll get 4 ships, and they have nice paint jobs. I'd say the best paint jobs the Romulans ever had. Like dark green with some light green highlights and gold. Like, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, mainly the Tal Shiar pack. Optionally, the old Romulan faction pack. After that, I would say the next obvious pack to buy is the IRW Praetus, because it comes with the Cloaked Mines. The rest of the pack is almost garbage. Almost. Not quite. It's like, what, a 12-point ship as a generic, and it's not even good. Like, to say that a 12 or 13-point ship isn't good, like, at all. let me bring it up. Oh my gosh, it's listed as Bird of Prey. Oh, I was wondering why nothing was appearing, and I set it to scan for ambassadors. Okay, it's not appearing. What am I doing wrong? How do you spell prey? Is it EY? Why isn't this? Oh, is it with a dash? Utopia is almost perfect.
Yeah.
Almost. There we go. There's a dash between bird and of. I mean,
there we go.
and
That's
of and prey.
Yeah.
So, the Praetus. Here we go. It's a 14-point ship. Its generic is also 14 points, and its ability lets you cloak without shields, and it has the chance to deal damage to your ship, which might just kill you in 3 turns. But the captain, I think it comes with an OK captain because he gives you a tech slot, but that's about it. You get some. I personally like. I actually really like the nuclear torpedoes it comes with. So yeah, nuclear warheads or something. It's nuclear missiles. That's what it is. It comes with a nuclear missiles card, just because I like being able to say I can nuke an enemy. But most of its stuff is pretty blasé and not all that great. But it does come with a single copy of Cloaked Mines. So I have. Let me see how many copies of the Praetus I bought.
I bought 4. I know that much.
I think. Yeah, it comes with polarized hull plating, which is
okay.
It's okay. It's a 2-point tech. Okay, that's pretty much all you need to expect from it.
Yeah.
I like it sort of as a thematic because polarized hull plating.
Uh-huh.
I think I bought 4. I can only find 3 of the cards right now, but I'm pretty sure I bought 4. Between 3 or 4 is pretty much how many you realistically need. You can always go
Yeah.
more than that, but at that point, it's getting a bit excessive, and people might not like your play style.
No, well, and the reason
Um,
I bought a fourth was twofold. One, the store I was playing at regularly had a clearance on ships as they went out of business. So I said, yes, sure, I'll pick up another copy of Cloaked Minds for like $3. And second, I at the time my collection was supporting 3 people, so I was like, yeah, I need at least one Cloaked Mind per person, plus the ability for someone to run a second. But yeah, um, while you're looking, I will say, if you can't get a hold of the 2017 Romulan faction pack, and I do know that it's out of print for everybody and very difficult to get. Um, Interface Generator is probably one of the most important cards out of that pack.
oh, I forgot, but you can get that in
The Apnex.
the Apnix. Yes,
So that might
that
be a
was the
little
original. Just
more accessible.
yeah, just keep in mind though that it is considered a ship unique card now.
Yes. So, and that has a tiny bit of errata, but who cares? It works exactly the same way. So that's your only kind of interchange there. And
Mhm.
really, I'm at the point now with cards, because so much is out of print. Like, if you're playing at home, if you're even playing at a local tournament, local OP day or whatever, let's be nice to new people and let them run. Maybe not everything printed off, but a few things printed off, and say like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Hey, I this is a proxy of this card that is completely out of print that I can't get a hold of." Uh,
Yeah, like if they come in with 3D printed ships and nothing but paper, then that might be a little bit of a problem because it means that they
that's a
put
big
literally
problem.
no money into the game. And the fact of the matter is, we do need to support the game
Yes.
because that. I mean, there is a kind of a line though, because like they knew we wanted cards and ships, and they didn't release any. So it's like they kind of do know that there is a market for this, but like for some reason, WizKids, which has I think stupid amounts of money right now because they also have a good chunk of D&D, um, uh, just doesn't really want to feed anything into Sta, which is kind of sad. But
Well, I do think
the
there's
point is
some
though,
under
support the
other
game
stuff.
at least a
Yeah.
little bit.
Buy what you can, buy what's available. Don't pay eBay scalper prices.
Eesh, yeah, that's another video entirely.
But yeah.
One that we probably won't make because we'll tick off too many people.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yes, so
um,
find a way to get an interface generator. Um,
yeah, if you can get some of these ships, I think you'll be good.
I
If you can
think
get the Tal Shiar, then the rest is optional. But
for the most part,
I
yeah.
do have a list.
I think
The Vrax.
ooh, yeah.
Nope. The Vrax. I don't own the Vrax. I because kind of eventually I managed to get enough ships cards from other factions, which filled the role. But the Vrax, to me, it was the bridge officer was really what you want. But you're gonna get some other stuff in there too. Like you're gonna get the Varax, which is a Valdor. No, Valdors aren't perfect, but they're a step up from the Daredexes in attack value. But it comes with Bridge Officer, which synergizes nicely, I think, with the Tal CR pack. Because actually, he synergizes with literally any weapon that has time tokens. Um, did you the call drop?
No, I'm here. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out. There's
If there's any,
yeah.
you'd want
Sorry,
the
there's a Romulan crew I'm thinking of that.
Bridge Officer is the one that lets you, I think, put time tokens on him instead of a weapon, or one less time token. Actually, I'm just gonna look him up. I have the thing here. Bridge Here we go. When you are instructed to place time tokens on one or more of your weapon upgrades, place one less time token than required. So he's like an Esri Dax for Romulan weapons, basically, because he upgrades to. He costs 3 SP, but he costs 6 if you put him on a non-Romulan ship. Also, the Varax as a ship looks nice. It's that sort of transparent green.
Now, I think. Okay, so I used to say the Valdor.
You don't like that, do you?
No. It's okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not my like. I don't like the candy colored ships. They're not my personal style. But I understand why some people would love them.
I want to eat the Talvath. I want to eat it so bad. It looks like Jolly Rancher.
Don't eat ships. Don't eat attack.
But I
ships.
wanna.
They're not good for you.
Oh, but yeah. I understand why the Valdor would be on the list, but
It
I
used
think
to be. I took it
the
off.
Tal Shiar pack.
With the Tal Shiar, because every important card is in the Tal Shiar pack.
Now, if you can't get the Tal Shiar pack for one reason or another, and you can find a way to get the Valdor, like maybe a friend's willing to give it to you, or you just find it in an old shop somewhere, go ahead and swipe up a Valdor if you can't get the Tal Shiar. But if you can get the Tal Shiar, then you don't need the Valdor, because you'll get the better versions of it. You'll get the cheaper Valdor in the Tal Shiar, the better Denatra in the Tal Shiar. What else was good? I think it came with
Tactical Officer, where you get to essentially do a double reroll with a target lock.
I think I almost never use him.
Basically, you don't, because he's 3 points for that, and the crew slot. And I get it but back in
I
the
used
day,
to use him a lot,
in Wave
but not
0, Wave 1, like that was actually good.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when that was a good card.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got also let's see, the animated pack.
Yes,
comes with your Lars, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Romulan captains. And the Talon, which is a very simple to build Romulan ship.
I think that's a necessity. Like, I think that is maybe your number 2 priority. I think you go Tal Shiar pack and then go track down an animated series pack.
Which is funny because there's very few Romulan cards in there, but all of them are good.
Yeah, and if not all of them, almost all of them. Like, and there's a ton of utility with what exists there.
Yeah. Here, where did Talon go? There it is. A good old Talon. And speaking of the game possibly coming back to a maneuvers game, the Talon, it's so good for maneuvers, because you got yourself if you're cloaked by the time you reveal your dial, you can perform a 1-forward, 1 bank, or another, 1-forward or 1 bank, or you can perform a sensor echo. With some of the cards in the Tal Shiar pack, you can get free sensor echoes, so you can just take the 1 banks. And those sensor echoes can become bank sensor echoes, which means that when the Talon first came out, to put it in perspective, when the Talon first came out, I made a post on the Star Trek Attack Wing Facebook group showing a diagram of how, in using a 1-forward or a 2-forward, all the locations that the Talon could end up on the board, and it just appears wherever it wants. And that was before bank sensor echoes were a thing.
So now it can appear wherever it wants and face wherever it wants, basically.
Yes! It's just going to be wild. It's going to be banning the Borg's turns all over again. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
There's no OP event, so WizKid's going to have a hard time finding out that it's completely broken. But it also might just be what this game needs to break sort of the action economy Klingon swarm meta that we're living in.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So after that, we've got some ships which aren't maybe all that great, but they come with 1 card that's pretty good. We've got the Hakona. That'll get you Mendak, which is one of the easiest ways to get battle stations. But again, if you have the Tal Shiar pack, you might not need it.
Yeah.
It also does come with some some nice crew. The Romulan, what is it, tactical officer or security guy.
Helmsman.
It,
Oh, I like the Romulan helmsman.
there's also the Vortivore comes with the old advanced cloaking, which I use on pretty much all my Romulan builds,
Okay, yeah.
which basically just lets you stay cloaked. If you can't get the Tal Shiar, and for some reason can get a copy of the Scimitar, you can get the Scimitar, but good luck getting a Scimitar in 2022.
I have an extra.
The Ray tag comes with Nancullis. Unfortunately, though, the Romulan Birds of Praise, both the TOS version and the Enterprise era versions, do have a lot to be left to be desired. They don't even swarm nicely, sadly. I wish they would lower their price or something. But they're really nice looking ships. At the very least, you can use them as like a display model on your shelf.
Yeah.
They got that beautiful bird on them.
Let me interject. Romulan Pilot is a card you
Ooh,
want to get.
That, I think, was a prize only, right?
I believe so.
It was. I remember buying it in a set with the. It came with, or maybe it was in a rare set, and then it was released as a prize as a reprint.
Yes, I think the Romulan Pilot. Here, I'm checking. The Romulan Pilot was on the prize ship, the Azuremir, and then it was an OP walk in the door. Here's your Romulan Pilot.
Yeah, I think it came with the. You could get it with the. What was it? Photonic cannon.
Yes.
You sometimes see it being sold with the photonic cannon and some other card.
Yeah, it was part of Trap Travesty OP.
Here we go. For action, discard this card, place a scan token, and this ship may perform a green maneuver. Yeah. It's that's one of the cards that I like to include into racing builds, because me and the Manchester guys used to occasionally have Star Trek Attack Wing races.
Uh-huh.
And Romulan Pilot was a fun one.
Yes. So that's another card that's an option. I don't think
and it's a movement card.
It's a movement. Don't go out and spend a ton of money to get it, but if you can find it, if somebody's got an extra around, because it might be tucked in a back corner with a bunch of other OP stuff,
Future-proofing. Someone in the future might be watching this video and not be able to find the Tal Shiar pack. If you can't buy the Tal Shiar pack, then you might want to get the Scimitar, the Vortivore, the Hakona, and the old Romulan pack. So like that's actually a statement of how good the Tal Shiar pack is. Is if you have that, then you don't really need all those other ones.
Uh-huh.
But if you don't, then there's all these ships to track them down.
I make an argument that if you can get Sayla's Warbird at a decent price, it's worth at least considering. But don't go out and spend a ton of money on it.
I don't think I have that one. Let's see.
Well, it was a grand prize ship.
If your ship is cloaked and performs a sensor echo action, you may flip your token over to its red side. Immediately perform an additional sensor echo action as a free action. So normally you can't double sensor echo, though, I think, right?
Right, but Sailor's Word would actually let you double echo.
Yeah, so it's like the Picard, lets you double.
And Sayla isn't a bad captain.
If you could pair that with the I think it's the Takog.
Uh-huh.
Oh, being able to 3 sensor. Actually, Sayla's Warbird with the new cloaking device.
That's what I was.
Oh my gosh! You just rotate your ship 90 degrees.
Uh-huh.
Over a long distance, because I think 2-1 banks is like the equivalent of a 3 turn.
Yeah.
You'll be going from flying to the side to suddenly either flying behind them or in front of them. Like, ooh, woo.
Yes. Yeah, Sayla's Warbird's ridiculous. So, like, you want a movement game back, that's a way to do it. But, again, if you can't get a hold of it, and I know a lot of people can't, it was a grand prize ship. Not a ton of these went out, and high scalper prices, etc., etc., etc. Don't go chasing $200 ships. That's not the purpose of anything here.
Especially if the meta changes.
Yeah.
Don't buy a hood. My general rule of thumb is don't buy a ship for $40 unless you really, really want it.